What if the people we love the most are also the ones who quietly undo us? How do we know when loyalty becomes a cage and not a virtue? Could letting go of those closest to us be the most courageous form of compassion? The hard truth about harmful relationships. In life, our relationships often serve as our greatest teachers. They shape the way we experience joy, fear, and love. They reflect our strengths, expose our wounds, and help us understand ourselves more deeply. But not all connections uplift us. Sometimes, the very people we once trusted and cherished become the source of our deepest suffering. These moments shake us. They challenge our ideas of loyalty, love, and forgiveness. We ask ourselves, what does it really mean to stay loyal? Does loyalty have a boundary? Buddhist wisdom reminds us that attachment, not hatred, is often the root of suffering, and sometimes holding on causes more pain than letting go. The Buddha once said, "An insincere and evil friend is more to be feared than a wild beast." A wild beast may wound your body, but an evil friend will wound your mind. With this timeless insight, let us explore 9 powerful signs that it may be time to release a connection, even one that once felt sacred. 1. They disrespect your boundaries. Imagine a river flowing with calm and purpose, guided by the gentle curves of its banks. Boundaries in relationships serve the same purpose. They give shape to our energy, protect our emotional flow, and preserve our peace. But when someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, ignoring your needs, dismissing your values, invading your space, they're not just challenging your preferences, they're violating your sense of self. As a Zen master once said, to protect both self and others, we must learn to draw clear lines. When a friend or family member constantly makes you feel the need to defend your worth, something is broken. Respect cannot be demanded or bartered. It must come from mutual awareness and care. And if it doesn't, then choosing to walk away is not cruelty. It is an act of self-respect. 2. They drain your energy without replenishing it. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. There is a natural exchange of energy, of listening, giving, encouraging, supporting, but some people show up like emotional parasites, endlessly taking, yet offering little in return. You leave interactions feeling exhausted, emotionally heavy, burdened by their drama, their demands, their negativity. Buddhism emphasizes the necessity of balance. The Buddha taught, when your own cup is empty, you cannot fill another's. If someone continually depletes your spirit, it's not selfish to step away. Preserving your energy allows you to be available for the relationships that nourish, not consume. Ask yourself, is this connection a living garden or barren ground that gives nothing back? If you find yourself in the latter, the answer is clear. 3. They are consistently dishonest. Trust is the foundation that supports any meaningful bond. Without it, even the deepest love begins to crumble. When someone repeatedly lies, hides the truth, or manipulates reality, they construct a fog that clouds your perception and warps your sense of safety. As a Zen proverb teaches, lies are like clouds that hide the sun. The truth, no matter how harsh, is the light that clears the way. A relationship built on illusion is one that slowly unravels your confidence, your clarity, and even your identity. Letting go of a dishonest person isn't about revenge. It's about choosing clarity over confusion. It's about giving yourself the space to rebuild trust in your own perceptions. 4. They use you for personal gain. There are people who do not connect out of love, but out of calculation. They offer compliments, support, and kindness, not as genuine expressions, but as currency to get what they want. These relationships feel more like transactions than connections. Buddhist philosophy warns us about clinging to those who exploit others. The Buddha once said, "Good deeds done with selfish intent are like a shadow. They vanish when the light fades." When someone sees you as a means to an end, not as a person to be respected, it's time to walk away. True relationships are never built on usefulness. They are built on mutual respect and presence. 5. They cannot celebrate your joy. A real friend shines with you. A true loved one lifts your victories as if they were their own. But when someone belittles your success, withholds praise, or becomes visibly uncomfortable with your growth, they reveal an inner darkness, one born of envy, fear, or insecurity. A Zen master once said, "Envy poisons the soul and turns joy into bitterness." If your happiness makes someone else uncomfortable, if your light feels like too much for them to bear, it's a sign. A relationship that cannot hold your joy is not built to last. You deserve to be surrounded by those who see your light and cheer it on. 6. They create constant drama. Some people are addicted to chaos. They stir conflict from silence, turn small moments into raging storms, and leave your world disrupted after every interaction. This constant cycle of drama isn't passion, it's poison. Buddhism speaks of the importance of a peaceful mind. The Buddha taught, "Avoid the company of those who delight in quarrels, for they disturb the stillness of the heart." Relationships filled with unending tension block you from accessing the calm you need to grow. Think and simply be. Letting go of drama isn't cold, it's healing. 7. They make you feel small. Words matter, energy matters, and if someone constantly makes you question your worth through criticism, dismissiveness, or silence, then that relationship is doing damage. Zen philosophy emphasizes inner dignity. One monk once said, "Do not let anyone shrink you, for within you lives the universe itself." Relationships should help us rise, not crush us. Choosing to leave someone who diminishes you isn't weakness. It's a declaration, "I know my worth." 8. They refuse to grow. Life is movement. Everything evolves. We change. We adapt. We rise. But some people cling to destructive patterns and refuse to grow. They reject healing, resist responsibility, and pull you backward as you try to move forward. Buddhism teaches us that just as a snake sheds its skin, we too must let go of what no longer serves us, again and again. If someone is not willing to grow, they will ultimately block your evolution too, and no loyalty is worth your stagnation. Letting go is not abandonment, it is choosing your own progress. 9. They don't reciprocate love or effort. Love is not meant to be one-sided. effort is not meant to be given without return. When only one person gives, emotionally, mentally, energetically, resentment takes root, balance is lost, and over time, love becomes labor. A Zen parable tells of a tree that gave everything, shade, fruit, even wood, to someone who never watered its roots. Eventually, the tree withered, and the man, he was left alone. The lesson: real relationships require care from both sides. When love is not reciprocated, letting go is an act of truth. Letting go of a relationship that once meant everything is not easy. It demands courage, clarity, and self-compassion, but sometimes holding on hurts far more than walking away. In the next part of this journey, we'll explore how to release with peace, how to detach with dignity, and how to make space for the connections that truly align with your soul. Let's continue. Letting go of someone you once cherished is not a sign of weakness. It is often the most powerful act of self-love. And in the wisdom of Zen, it is through release that we make space for peace, embracing the pain, the first step toward healing. Many people hesitate to let go because of the emotional pain that follows. They fear the emptiness, the loneliness, the mourning of what once was. But Zen philosophy reminds us that pain is not our enemy. It is our teacher. In every ache, there is an opening. In every tear, a teaching. Suffering, when met with presence and awareness, becomes a fertile ground for growth. And when we release harmful relationships, we do not lose ourselves. We shed a weight that was never truly ours to carry. As the Buddha once said, in the end, only three things matter: how deeply you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of what was not meant for you. To let go is to liberate the mind, body, and soul. It is not abandonment, it is alignment. Steps to let go with peace. Letting go doesn't have to be harsh. It doesn't have to be dramatic or filled with blame. In fact, the most powerful goodbyes are often spoken in stillness, with dignity, with grace, and with a quiet honoring of both yourself and the connection that once was. Step 1. Acknowledge your emotions. Begin by being honest with yourself. Allow your sadness, your grief, your guilt, even your anger to rise. These feelings are not flaws. They are part of the process. Denying them will only prolong the pain. Zen teaches us to sit with our emotions like we would sit with an old friend, without trying to fix or flee. Find a quiet space, breathe, observe your feelings without judgment. Let them wash over you, then let them pass. Over time, their grip will soften. Step 2. Communicate with compassion if needed. If the situation calls for it, express your decision with clarity and care. You don't need to explain everything or justify your emotions. Speak with kindness, but stand in your truth. As a Zen saying goes, speak only when your words are more beautiful than silence. Choose words that reflect your desire for peace, not revenge. Let the conversation be a door to closure, not conflict. Step 3. Create distance, both physical and emotional. Once the decision is made, protect your space, set clear boundaries, reduce contact, Avoid spaces where the old patterns can resurface. It's not about punishment. It's about protecting your progress. Give yourself the room to breathe again, to think clearly, to remember who you are outside the influence of someone who clouded your spirit. Step 4. Focus on your healing. Letting go can leave behind emptiness, but within that emptiness is potential, a blank canvas ready to be painted with new colors. Use this space to reconnect with yourself. Journal, meditate, rebuild. As the Buddha taught, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. Use this time to walk your own path, not as a reaction to pain, but as a return to self. Signs you've let go successfully. How do you know you've truly let go? Healing isn't loud, it's subtle, and it often reveals itself in quiet shifts. In a calm, your faults settle. The constant tension fades. Your nervous system begins to rest. Freedom to grow. You start to explore new interests. You welcome fresh energy and allow change in. Renewed self-worth. You no longer measure your value through someone else's eyes. You stand tall, knowing your worth is not up for negotiation. Deeper connections. Space you once gave to toxicity is now open for authenticity, real. Supportive relationships can finally find you. Zen reminds us, true freedom begins with letting go. When we release what no longer serves us, we return to the natural flow of life, and in that flow, we rediscover beauty in its purest, most nourishing form, the overflowing cup, a lesson in release. A Zen monk once shared a story with a student trapped in a toxic friendship. The student asked, "Master, how can I let go of someone I once loved so deeply?" The monk handed him a small cup and began pouring water into it. Slowly, the water reached the brim, then began to spill. "Stop!" the student cried. "The cup is full." The monk smiled gently. "Exactly, just as this cup cannot hold more water, your heart cannot hold more joy while it remains filled with the pain of this relationship. To welcome something new, you must first empty the cup. Letting go isn't the end. It's a clearing, a sacred space made for something better. Detachment is not a lack of love. It's a declaration of self-respect. Releasing someone close to your heart is never easy. It requires courage, emotional maturity, and the willingness to face the unknown. But in Buddhist and Zen traditions, we are reminded that attachment to people, even those we love, can be the very cause of our suffering. Recognizing toxicity is not a failure of love. It's a recognition of truth, and choosing to release is a form of honoring your path. As the Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. By letting go, you affirm your worth. You reclaim your peace. You align with the truth of who you are and what you deserve. Final reflection: letting go isn't the absence of care. It's the highest expression of self-awareness. You release not with bitterness, but with blessing. You walk forward not with anger, but with acceptance. Like the tree that sheds its dying leaves, you make space for new growth, new life, new love. So may you find the strength to release what no longer brings light to your spirit. And may you step into the life waiting on the other side with clarity, calm, and compassion. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. We create thoughtful, soul-nourishing content to help you live with greater awareness, resilience, and inner peace. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment below. What are you learning to let go of right now? What part of this story spoke to you the most? Thank you for being here. Until next time, walk gently, love wisely, and always return to the stillness within you.